Hello and welcome to Hey, I loved that movie, so I wonder if the Nostalgia Bait sequel will be any good. I'm Dan.
Michael.
And I'm Helena. You really threw me off there. I forgot this wasn't an old film.
Yeah, we decided to watch Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget.
I disagree with the premise of this episode. I don't believe that this film is nostalgia bait.
Do you not?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, some bits felt it, but I just meant in general, making a Chicken Run sequel is.
I don't think it's nostalgia bait. I think it is Aardman Entertainment coming back to what it wants to do.
Yeah.
After the fire.
Yeah, I'm glad that it was still Aardman. I mean, it was obviously pretty shit that they got rid of the cast and changed it, except for Mel Gibson. It's fine shit.
I'm about to say,
Strange choices. There were definitely strange choices in the cast, but I don't think this was a nostalgia bait film. I think this was Aardman wanted to make another Chicken Run.
Yeah, and they finally were able to, and they had a story for it, and
because it didn't feel like it wasn't like constantly a nudge wink wink to the first film.
No, and most of the time, if the majority of callbacks that were in it did work, there was only one that I was like, oh, that didn't land. But yeah, I thought we'd watch this because obviously we watched Chicken Run and we all rated it quite highly, so
yeah,
it'd be nice to check it out. And
ultimately, this, and I realise that is a terrible way to start a podcast, but ultimately, this one just made me want to watch Chicken Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cute though, so it's it's a direct sequel.
Yeah, it's
so it's
years after, but
yeah, they've made their own little happy place on Chicken Island.
They have a child.
Rocky describes the events of the first movie to their egg, and I do really like the line because they're sort of like talking about it, and Ginger essentially says, "Yeah, we went through all of that, so our baby doesn't have to."
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, that is how things should be.
This film is about fighting generational trauma.
Yeah. But obviously, they end up doing that thing of, we went through this thing, so you must not go outside.
We're going to keep you safe by keeping you here.
Yeah, by being too overprotective.
Even though, being adventurous is what saved them the first time round.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense. They have a kid, they're together. All of the characters are still very consistent from the first film.
The first bit that killed me was the bicycle gag.
Oh, the knitted bicycle was great.
So those characters are amazing.
Because I mean, it's not as good. It's not as good as when she knits a noose in the first film.
No, it's not as bleak.
But it was on the right path.
Yeah.
The only character that I felt seemed a bit different was Rocky, because he seemed a lot dumber in this one from memory of the first one.
I don't think he was ever that intelligent in the first one.
He wasn't ever clever. He was just
he
was just a bit more of a con artist in the first one.
Yeah, in this one I think it kind of takes the wacky, silly character to the extreme.
I don't remember, in the first one he's lying about who he is the entire film.
Yeah, he does spend most of it pretending he can fly.
He feels more like a dad.
Yeah.
That's consistent.
Yeah, I suppose so. It is
He's
all the other characters were great. The knitted bike really got me.
Amazing. You did what?
And it's just so floppy.
I love that they all stop. What?
But yeah, they have a kid called Molly, and Molly really wants to go to the other side of the water.
Did anyone else assume her name was going to be Nugget?
Yeah, but that would be mean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The song is great. The theme song to this film is pretty good, by Paloma Faith.
Mm.
It was pretty good. I like that it was Paloma Faith. I don't know why, but it felt like such a throwback. Because she hasn't made music, and she was really big when the first film came out. No, later. But it felt like such a weird, why her?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit of an odd choice of theme for the song, but it's for the modern audience, and I am but a miserable old man.
That's good. Well, to be fair, this film isn't based around World War One.
No.
This film
Yeah,
isn't
we're
a
not getting. This
retelling
isn't
of-
concentration camp vibes anymore.
Yeah.
No,
This
this
isn't
is
a
Mission
retelling
Impossible
of
vibes.
The Great Escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a heist movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they kind of Molly's growing up. They kind of living general nice life. They can make popcorn by using a magnifying glass and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's going to come up later.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that there's a bunch of trees being cut down the other side of the lake, and chickens are being sent to Funland Farms. And Molly really wants to go, and the others are like, no.
Oh yeah, there's a big board, like advertising billboard that's like Funland Farm, and all these chickens look really happy, and it looks like Disneyland for chickens.
And you get a bucket.
Yeah, you get to sit in a
Every
bucket, and that's
chicken
the
gets a
best thing
bucket.
ever.
And who's the main character? What's her name?
Ginger.
Not Molly. Ginger, that's it. Ginger's like, we've got to do something, and all the other penguins are like, oh god, she's going to tell us to go rescue all the chickens.
Yeah, she's like,
God,
oh, I've
no.
not seen that face. I recognise that face. I've not seen that face in a few years.
All
Oh
the other-
god, here
all
we
the
go.
other- Yeah, I love that reaction. The chickens are like, oh no.
Yeah,
You're gonna
and she's
have to-
like, we should hide, and they're like, yeah. The just before that is the one joke that I didn't feel landed, which was when they say about marching forward into the fray, and Babs is like, I don't want to march into the fray. I'm fray phobic, of like the I don't like gravy kind of one from last time, and I was like, that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like that was just the joke that fell flat for me. I feel
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
struck me as like, was that what they originally wrote? Did someone edit that? Like,
Yeah, because the first one when she's like, I don't want to be a pie, I don't like gravy. That's fucking funny.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
And even
that
like
was,
the line where she's like, that Ginger's like, it's go time, and she's like, oh, we've already been.
yeah,
Yes.
that was really good. I went before we left.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
The
a lot of
jokes
this
are
was a
pretty
lot better
solid.
than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the jokes are pretty solid.
Yeah,
I did really enjoy Mrs. Tweedy reprising her role with her new husband.
spoilers. Yeah,
Oh, so-
that's
But-
later in the movie. Yeah, no.
oh, sorry. I forgot we were gonna.
We go through it bit by
We can
bit.
sort of go through it, yeah. Of
So-
course, after suggesting hiding, Molly decides that, nope, I'm going to go off and,
Molly wants to go to the farm. It looks
yeah,
fun.
she wants to explore. And of
Mum
course,
and Dad
the
just
rats
don't
are back as
understand
well.
me.
Yeah,
Because they're not telling her that they went through a horrific traumatic event.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
she thinks,
it's
"Oh."
like they've sheltered her from it, but they sheltered her too much, so she doesn't actually understand the gravity.
Yeah, the danger.
Because it's like, that's not happy. They should have immediately been like, well, no, that's a farm. That they'll be killing the chickens to eat them. Probably would have
Yeah.
put her off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you don't want to ruin the childhood innocence. So
Yeah,
she
that's
goes
the thing,
off.
isn't it? Because she's only little. They are kind of
Yeah.
like, oh no, you don't want to do that. Just
So she
trust
breaks-
us.
Yeah, so she breaks out and goes by herself.
yeah.
And then meets
And-
Bella Ramsey.
Oh yeah.
No, Bella Ramsey is Molly.
Oh, she?
Yeah,
Oh.
Frizzle's the Irish one. Yeah, Bella Ramsey is Molly. So she meets Joel and goes off on an adventure with some fungus zombies.
So they go on an adventure.
Yeah.
So he meets Frazzle. Is it Frazzle?
Frizzle, yeah, Frizzle, the Irish one, who
Yeah.
I assumed was going to have been voiced by someone from like Dairy Girls or something, but it's someone that's not been in anything before.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
But, yeah, so they get to the farm.
and they want
Is
to go
she
because they
Irish?
both want to sit in the bucket.
Everyone
Yeah,
is
Frizzle was
chasing them.
Irish. Yeah,
I don't think she was Irish.
No, she's Liverpudlian. It's a really
Yeah.
thick Liverpudlian accent.
oh, I thought she was Irish.
I think she's Irish.
Bloody hell, Dan. They're a
Alright.
bit different. Sorry.
I guess so.
I'm laying into you there. You're getting these chicken accents wrong.
Well, anyway.
Sorry. I apologise for that outburst. Yeah, she was... No, it just threw me because I was like, I don't remember there being any Irish actors in it.
Yeah, no, I just hear accent and I'm like Irish. So.
It's probably Irish.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
This is an English person that doesn't sound like me. Must be
yeah,
Irish.
Irish, yeah. But yeah, essentially, Frizzle was originally with the other group of chickens, but was too small, so wasn't allowed to go to Funland Farms. So they both decide to, break into the van and, well, they get captured by a human and put into the van to go anyway, because he thinks that they've escaped.
Which we just talked about Happy Feet. Their reaction to the humans feels appropriate
Yeah.
after watching Happy Feet.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go and listen to the Happy Feet.
I mean, this will probably come out before the Happy Feet episode, but you know.
Okay, wait for the Happy
There'll
Feet
be a
episode.
Happy Feet episode soon.
Quick question, Dan. Where do you think John McCartney's from?
Oh my god! Oh no!
Who?
Oh no!
Where do you think the Beatles are from, Dan?
John McCartney is not one of the Beatles, Ella. that is two Beatles mushed into one.
This is a mess. This is such a mess of a fucking conversation that you two are having.
I don't know, but the Beatles all sound like chickens to me.
From Belfast, don't they?
In my defence, that's Google messing me up. Has it actually meshed their faces together?
Did you Google the Beatles to find out?
No,
which one...
I was just looking up who famous Liverpudlians.
You were double checking which one was the Beatle and you got it wrong. You were checking and you. I'm going to stop before I say something stupid. Anyway, so they go to the farm, and it's not a farm; it is a futuristic, evil villain's lair.
Yeah.
There is a John McCartney from Liverpool. I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, that's the guy that replaced Paul when he died.
He just wasn't a bow. So
Yeah, they're in this huge like chicken-looking paradise, and it's all nice and green, and like there's lots of fun things for them to do.
well, it's like inside a villain's lair.
Yeah,
Yeah, and there's all sort of hints that things are not as they seem right at the start, where it's like, they get scanned and it's all very clinical and weird.
yeah, like actually getting like whenever people try and get in as well, and it's like there's just so much weird shit outside. Like Rocky manages to so the other chickens like obviously go after her.
Yeah.
And then Rocky's like, I've got a plan. We go in and we break her out. Like that's not a plan.
Like, that's not a plan.
And
That's
then he
what you
manages to
want
get
to
in by
happen.
accident.
Yeah, they're like, that's what you want to happen.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a plan. So what happens when you get in there? They break her out.
But there's like an electric fence. There's like weird pig robots with missile launchers and like duck mines.
There's automated turrets, lasers. It's a villain's lair. And then the villain's lair does make sense later, and we will get to that.
Yeah. And the rats are then backed, and they want to help out because Molly calls them like Uncle Nick and Fetch. So they
like,
just
"We've
cry
never
every
been
time because they're like, "Oh,
uncles."
we're uncles."
Never been an uncle before.
They are still some of the best characters.
Yeah,
They're so good in this.
they're so funny. One of them in this one's Ramesh Ranganathan, who is he's great.
I didn't really. Oh yeah, I didn't occur to me that it wasn't the same people from before.
Yeah, literally no one is the same from before, unfortunately.
It was strange that it was very strange that they chose new people when the voice actors and everyone was still wanted to do it.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
It was controversial,
that was the thing with
wasn't
Ginger,
it?
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just said her voice sounded too old.
And then she was literally doing voice recordings to be like, "No, I sound the same."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
So maybe she was too expensive. But Christ, the amount of money. The voice actors are probably the cheapest part of this film, surely.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is these days, I think they don't go for voice actors, they go for celebrities to do voice acting.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do that much.
Yeah.
There's no huge name in this. It definitely wasn't marketed with voice actor first.
No, but it's definitely more big names than I couldn't name a single. I probably couldn't name an actor that was in the original Chicken Run. To be fair,
Apart from Mel Gibson.
yeah, actually, yeah, Mel Gibson. He was the chicken.
And they
Mel
didn't bring
Gibson-
him back.
What a shame. I wonder why.
But Mel Gibson was chosen specifically in the first film to sell to the American
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
That's why he was added. He was not added to this one for a different reason.
Oh, Imelda Staunton still played Bunty, apparently. Okay, that's fair. She kept her role.
Yeah.
I love
It just-
Imelda Staunton.
It was weird casting. Clearly some stuff happened in
Yeah.
pre-production that, probably some producers being shitheads.
Yeah.
Remind me who Reginald Smith was in this film? Because that's voiced by Peter Serafinovich, which is...
Oh, he's Sir Eat-a-Lot.
Sir Eat-a-Lot. Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
like there's... Yeah, he must be a...
But yeah, Molly and Frizzle are inside sort of enjoying the fake sort of free range. And then they start to notice that actually these chickens aren't quite acting right. And they've all got these collars on and they're just acting like zombies. They're just like dead-eyed, like facing ahead, just doing
And they're just
anything.
like, oh, I'm the happiest I've ever been. This
Yeah.
is great. And it's really creepy.
It is really weird. And then a guy in a chicken outfit comes in and tries to get
Well, we see the on the camera. We see the evil guy with his like Big Brother is watching you-esque camera, like CCTV system, and he's like, "You're not. What are you doing back there? You shouldn't be back there." And then it's like, "Oh, I got to like sort this out." And he puts on this giant chicken costume.
Yeah.
It just really tickled me. It's like, who's that for?
Yeah.
Well, we do find out in a bit that like he has a ton of degrees. He's a super genius. He has like degrees in genetics and like animal care and like loads of degrees in biology and one in drama. So I assume where the one in drama comes
and
in.
drama.
So I assume the reason he puts on the suit and he has the evil layer is because of the degree in drama. Like he has a flair for dramatic.
He absolutely does. But yeah, and I guess he just wants them to think that he's just a big chicken.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is that, like, as we find out in a little bit, that if chickens get stressed, they produce less. Like, the meat doesn't taste as nice.
Yeah, the meat's, like, stringier and, yeah.
Which, yeah. So, I guess that's why he dresses up. But also, he's got a flair for the dramatics. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, everyone else is breaking in.
Yeah. They, like, take a picture and put it in front of the CCTV and stuff like that.
Well, they go through what they'll do, and it's like one of them's the muscle, one of them's the brains, one of them is the head of wool.
Yeah.
Well, Babs, isn't it, that's head of wool?
Yeah. Which comes in handy. Like,
yeah.
They distract a guard with a cake and then essentially, like, tie a rocket.
Yeah, I love the how the assault of the guard goes from, like, 0 to 100 so fast. Of, like, oh, we'll distract him with a tasty cake. Kidnap, harass, bound, gagged.
A rocket attached to him, and then he, like, Wilhelm screams as he flies away.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot about the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. They have to, like, essentially go scuba diving and then do, like, a Mission Impossible, like, rope thing.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible reference was, it was fun. It's one of those things now I feel like they just felt obliged to have it in.
Yeah.
It's a bit...
Yeah.
I felt like this film could have done without that. It was funny enough that it didn't have to make... I like the other references, which were, like, in the Evil Lair with the real, like, 60s Bond villain... Like, they have, like, the sort of 60s idea of, like, futuristic Bond, like, bad guy there stuff, and there's, like, a, one of those sort of Cubist, Bauhaus-esque, sculptures, but all the bulbs are, eggs-shaped.
Yeah. I did like the other, like, spy movie kind of thing where it's like they've got to get there's like a retinal scanner and they take a picture of the guy's eye and it's just a woman flicking through a book to see if it matches.
Isn't the book called like the iPad or something?
Yeah. Oh, there was some great background puns, like the bits in the background called like the Nug Gates and stuff like that.
Yeah. I love it. I love that kind of humour.
Yeah, and that's something that's so joyful about the first one as well.
Yeah. I like the old man. What's his name?
Oh, Fowler.
Fowler.
Fowler. Because they're like, oh, Fowler, you're the escape guy. And he's really upset by that because he wants to be part of the adventure. And then he meets the famous snail.
Yeah.
Like the Aardman snail that was in all of like the adverts.
Yeah, and just starts talking to it.
He's like, they say I got distracted. I got distracted once. That was good.
Yeah. And then Rocky ends up in like the bin area with the rats because the rats have had an umbrella shut around them.
Yeah, because he says press the button. He goes, okay, presses the umbrella button.
So yeah, and they almost get incinerated but manage to escape.
Yeah, you've got real Toy Story 3 vibes at that point.
Yeah.
got almost horrific for a moment.
Yeah, but Frizzle gets captured by the guy in the chicken suit and gets a collar, so she becomes like, one of the dead-eyed chickens as well. And Molly's sort of on her own now, but she's like, no, I'm big and brave, I can do this.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's like, her growth in this film is good, where she go like her loss of chicken. She's a chicken. Her loss of innocence.
Yeah,
I think you had an existential crisis there.
Sometimes kids' films have those moments. Right?
Yeah.
It's just, I think sometimes it's important to remember that we're talking about a plasticine chicken. But yeah, Molly does have a lot of growth in this, which is good, because in sequels that can be something that really doesn't happen because they're kind of rehashing the same characters and then don't want to introduce new ones, or like, it's the exact same story, whereas before, like, Ginger was always this determined girl. Like, that wasn't, like, she wasn't ever innocent. She was more like, in the first film, she's like rough and tough and determined to not just save herself but save everyone.
Yeah, literally from the start. Yeah,
her
she's
daughter's
in prison.
just her daughter's kind of learning that. So it's more about how do you end up like more like Ginger rather than like Ginger. And obviously Ginger needs to learn to, she sort of has to respect that her daughter is going to be exactly like her in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and she can't. You can't keep secrets. There's difference between protecting someone and actually sheltering them from the truth to their detriment.
Yeah.
So the plasticine chicken. Yeah. So they end up kind of going through. Molly and Ginger end up sort of together, and they're in the room where Dr. Fry is showing. I think he's called Richard, but Dr. Fry keeps thinking he's called Sir Eat-a-Lot, and he's just like, no, that's the name of the restaurant.
That's good.
But yeah, he's like showing him this video, and it's about how chickens are like, if they're stressed, then the meat's all tight and horrible, but if they're relaxed and want to get killed, then it's nice and tasty. And he makes some chicken nuggets with a mushed up chicken.
Well, then you meet his companion, his
yes, who
partner.
starts coming down the stairs, and it's Mrs. Tweedy.
Dun dun dun.
And it's like the proper horror thing for Ginger of like, oh no, it's her. And she's like, I married him for his mind, his inheritance, and his land.
Yeah.
But anyway, as they're escaping, as they're like trying to get everyone out, because they've all of the chickens have kind of met up in this room whilst the villains are there.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, we need to get out. And as they're trying to escape, Mrs. Tweedy sees Ginger.
Yeah.
And she recognises her.
Now the question is, if, say you had a business and a chicken ruined it, like ruined your life forever, possibly killed your husband, it's never entirely explained, almost murdered you, dropped you out of a plane,
exploded your factory,
ruined your life, like completely, possibly killed your dogs and your husband, would you be able to recognise that chicken?
I think
she's
so.
got a little hat on, so yeah.
Assuming it's a normal looking chicken.
I used to be able to recognise all the different squirrels that came onto my balcony, and to be honest, they all look the same. That's not racist, that's just how squirrels look.
Yeah, that doesn't make it sound less racist. But also that makes it sound more racist.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess it's like, she's looked at that chicken is seared into her mind.
Yeah, it was the last thing she saw before she maybe died that one time.
She's gone over that image several times in therapy.
By the way, Helen, I like the way that you said you're not racist, all squirrels look the same, like other people can determine squirrels apart.
I saw an albino squirrel once, that was cool.
Like other people have sat there going, wow, she thinks all squirrels look the same.
What a bitch.
How dare
like,
she?
yeah, of course they do.
Cancelled. One of the squirrels near me is because where I live is absolutely, there's hundreds of them, and I don't mind. I think they're cute. But
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
get
God.
it. You're not a squirrel.
Yeah, look, I know squirrels. I like squirrels.
One of my
There's
best
squirrels
friends
where I
is a
live.
squirrel.
You got some of your friends are squirrels.
This squirrel is enormous.
They're not allowed in the
He
house.
looks like he's
though.
wearing another squirrel as a puffer jacket on top of himself. He's got rolls. He's a beast, and I see him quite a lot, and I recognise that squirrel. But I guess it could be just multiple fat squirrels, but I don't think it is. I think it is the same one.
It's like that seagull that used to be outside of my apartment, but only at a certain time of year.
Yeah, the one that used to scream.
Yeah, he'd stand on top of the car and scream.
Yeah,
So that's how we knew he was the same one. Anyway, Ginger gets a collar on her.
yeah.
And
Yeah, we create
Mrs.
these
Tweedy's
collars
like-
that are these behaviour altering scary collars.
yeah, and Mrs. Tweedy's like, put it up to full power, and of course it goes up to 11. And Ginger's like trying to resist it, and you think she has, but she doesn't quite.
The doctor's like, I've never seen such a strong-willed chicken before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic line.
And Tweedy's like, yes, I know.
And then you think Rocky's gonna like rescue them, and he just does a little dance to distract them, so they run away.
He's such a dad.
And then they apart from Rocky, they all end up. So they manage to break the collar off of Ginger, and then they all end up in a corn silo.
Which is genuinely quite scary.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they don't drown, but
Yeah,
they are
luckily
talking
they're-
about it. They're like, "Oh
luckily
yeah, we will
they're-
drown,"
They're light enough to like stand on the corn.
Yeah.
because they are
Never-
ultimately chickens.
Never go in a corn silo. It's stupidly dangerous.
I mean, I wasn't going to, but
I
because I think it's is it A Quiet Place rather
Yeah.
than Chicken Run 2: Dawn of the Nugget.
No, did you never see those like adverts when you were little? Those like horrifying PSA
kind of
adverts.
Country bumpkin are you? No, I never saw the "Don't climb into silo" advert.
No, we had the don't go on quicksand like the normal people.
I grew up in like English countryside.
We had the scary people come and say, "Don't cross the train tracks, you'll die." Look at all these tell you about all these kids that died.
Yeah, no,
And
we
the
had
kid
that.
that's like, if you go at 30 miles an hour.
Oh, that
what
advert
if-
freaked me out. I did
40.
not like that.
If you go at 40 miles an hour.
You know,
Have you
there's
ever
a
seen that one
30%
where the
chance
car
I'll
just
die.
fucking barrel rolls through a bunch of children?
Yes, that's Ireland for you.
It's so funny. Because it's so unexpected. It's just like full on. A group of kids and then a car just fucking rolls through the wall.
Whatever happened to those nightmare-inducing PSAs that used to be on TV all the time?
I remember seeing
Yeah,
one that I
wonder
don't
if
know.
There's a reason I don't drive.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one that went viral that was like an Australian one, and it's these kids skip school, but then they ultimately get blown up by a mine?
I think I've seen that too.
Yeah.
What happened to
I've
those?
seen that one.
This
I've
is why
spoiled
kids-
it for you now.
This is why kids today are shit, because they don't have these horrifying PSAs to terrify them.
Yeah.
Bloody nanny state.
We protect our kids too, man. We're gingering our kids.
We
Bloody
need to
kids
show
trying to
them-
get over their generational trauma of standing on a landmine.
We need to show them horrifying images of a child that got hit at 30.
Yeah. If you hit me at 80 miles an hour, I'll be paced.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm like, what I remember both at the same time very strongly is if you hit me at 30 miles an hour, there's an 80% chance I'll live. And also King of the Road, the singing illustrated hedgehog.
Yeah, King of the Road.
Stop, listen and look.
I mean, it was way before my time, but there used to be the Green Cross Code Man, and my mum met him when she was in school, and it turns out that the Green Cross Code Man was David Prowse, aka the body of Darth Vader in Star Wars. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
King of the Road.
Imagine Darth Vader being like,
I-
don't cross the road. Look both ways.
Oh,
So anyway...
in a shocking turn of events.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I was like, oh, I wonder if the popcorn foreshadowing will come into this. And then Rocky's there at the top thing, and they're like, help us get out. And he's like, I can't hear you, so he jumps down.
I love that, by the way. I love the thing.
I was
they're like, "Help us get
I
out."
was really hoping for a Winnie the Pooh movie reference. Have you guys seen I don't know if you've seen the film or if you've seen the clips where it's like Piglet is at the top and they're all stuck in a hole, and they're like, "Piglet, can you help? Can you help us down?" And it's like, "I've got this rope," and she's like, "Can you?"
Oh yeah, can you not? Yeah.
And he's like, yes, I can not." And then like, it just goes back and forth. It's silly. It's so dumb, but it is really funny. And
do you know what else is dumb? Sorry, carry on.
Your face. I don't know.
Oh, thanks. No, the next line in the movie, which was very funny, so they're in the grain silo, and Mrs. Tweedy's like, "Oh, turn on the grinder at the bottom," and she's like, "They've just run out of cluck."
Yeah,
I was like, that is fucking great line.
Okay. I love Rocky. I love that they're screaming at him no, and he's like, "Sorry, I can't hear you," and then jumps down.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Like, no, brain empty, head empty, just good thoughts. I love him.
Rocky is a himbo.
Rocky's a himbo in
himbo
this
energy.
one. Maybe a himbo in the first one.
I do also love the line between not Mr. Eat-A-Lot, sorry, Eat-A-Lot, whatever his name is, Reginald. And it's like, obviously the chicken gets to him really quickly from being alive to being nuggets. Yeah. And he's like, "Fast food, I like it, this could be big."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Not be huge, and Alicia Tweedy will have her revenge." And he goes, "Revenge?" And she's just like, "Revenue."
That's what I meant. They're flirting. They're hard flirting.
Yeah, Mrs. Tweedy just wants the. She just
husband.
wants any money that she can. So
she wants power.
She doesn't want to be married to the dorky Mr. Fry.
Yeah, she wants power and to kill chickens.
Yeah,
that's all she wants in life.
Exactly. She's a girl boss.
She's a gatekeeping, gaslighting girl boss. And she doesn't care about her husband because she calls him Doctor. She never calls him by his name.
Yeah, Dr. Fry. Yeah, so they're all stuck in the corn silo. And they're like, "Oh, popcorn." And they have one rocket left. So and Molly uses the Max glasses as like a magnifying glass to light it.
Yeah, well, there's like, "Oh, have you got a match? Has anyone got a match?" And none of them do. But then she, while they're all fussing and panicking and thinking they're going to die, she uses Max glasses.
Yeah.
That had conveniently fallen off, and we'd had the whole Velma thing.
Yeah.
And then she uses that to light light the fuse.
Yeah, and it kind of shoots to the bottom and then popcorns the whole thing. So they all explode, and they're basically free. And there's like a zip line set up that they can get out, but Molly's like, "Frizzle's still in there, and all the other chickens. Like, we can't just leave them." So they decide to go back and rescue them all.
No, Molly doesn't do that. It's Ginger that has that.
Yeah, Molly.
Heart.
Yeah, Molly's kind of worried because Frizzle's still in there though.
Yeah.
And Ginger's like, "We're not just saving Frizzle. We're saving all of them."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Yeah, she's back." So they break back in. They split up.
They capture Dr. Fry so they can because there's like 3 different remotes.
I love that. That's also a really good joke earlier on.
Yeah.
When he's just like, "Press this," but there are 3 modes. And he's like, "Why?"
Yeah, why are there 3 modes? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
And I swear at that moment, everyone pans over to their coffee table that has 3 remotes on it.
He just like looks at it for a second and goes, "Nobody knows." I love that so much.
Yeah. So they want to get the off remote, but Mrs. Tweedy has the remote to make all the chickens kill themselves, basically. Yeah. And the song "We're All Going on a Summer Holiday" starts playing, so Babs is like, "Oh, a holiday, I want to go."
I love Babs.
She's a great character.
So good.
They managed to get the collar off Frizzle, but they're essentially trying to stop them all from going up this escalator to heaven, basically.
Death. Yeah.
All the while, Rocky and Ginger are trying to get the other remote while Mrs. Tweedy's just fucking them up.
Yeah.
And Molly has to get in. She finally gets to get in a bucket to go up and get to the off button.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Tweedy grabs her, and there's a whole thing with a swinging axe, and Mrs. Tweedy almost gets full on decapitated.
Again.
Yeah. Instead, she gets dropped into. So they managed to turn off the chicken collars, and she gets dropped into the Nugget machine, and I'm like,
Yeah.
she's gonna get full on mulched. Like,
You got nuggets.
instead
You'd
she just
imagine,
gets
the
battered.
machine would just think that she's lots of chickens.
Exactly, but so she doesn't get absolutely sliced up. She does just get coated in batter.
Yeah, and another excellent line where Reginald is like, Militia, why are you dressed like a nugget?
Yeah. They all escape. Oh, they get into a van to escape, and it's like Molly all directs them, and the rats are like, "Yeah, we'll do the pedals." Like, oh, what are they for? And they're like, "Go, stop, and a spare one."
I love it. I love
Yeah.
this film.
But yeah, they
get
all sort
away.
of escape. Mrs. Tweedy gets kicked into the moat and gets blown up by duck bombs, and then the entire factory explodes.
Yeah.
Um,
And they get away.
and yeah, they managed to rescue all of the chickens.
And then you have the little epilogue where they're all happily getting on with their lives, and they're able to like essentially make a microwave for the popcorn, and they're all having fun. And then Molly comes back in a secret cloud.
Yeah, so they got like a little
Observer.
cloud flying thing. Yeah,
And she's like, I found another farm. And they're just saving chickens from
they're just
farms.
saving chickens. Yeah, and like the final shot is just all of them preparing. And
Yeah.
I mean, you may have seen it online. Have you guys seen the secret character in the background of that shot?
No?
I'll give you a clue. He's a penguin, and he's got a rubber glove on his head.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it was in the background. It's so cute.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Does that mean that he's busted out of prison, or is
Yes.
this like
Maybe his
set-
time was up.
Maybe-
It has been 23 years.
Maybe they
Yeah.
busted him out.
Fucking hell, it's
Because he would have
longer
gone
than
to
that,
like an
Jesus
animal
Christ.
prison.
Yeah, well, he
I
did,
mean,
didn't
he's
he? He went
from-
to the
he's
dog
from the
pound.
wrong- He's from the
Yeah.
wrong trousers, though, and that when was that? That was way longer ago than.
They may have broken him out.
Yeah.
He's
Or maybe
chilling
he.
with
1993, the wrong trousers. Jesus.
He's
Christ.
chilling with the chickens.
Yeah.
The 30-year-old chicken penguin.
Fucking hell. Anyway.
But yeah, so that was a really nice little.
Yeah. Just a fun
Homage.
little like another good little background thing.
It's why I don't believe in the premise of this podcast for this episode. It's not. I don't think it's nostalgia bait. I genuinely
it
think they
was
just
actually a
wanted to
nice
make
sequel, to be fair.
Chicken Run 2.
I don't.
No more.
Obviously, not as good as the first, but
I think it was just as good. I think it was good
Still
in
good.
like a.
I think I'll take.
normal-
It's probably going to take me a little while to love this, but then again, I have watched Chicken Run like 10,000 times. So
yeah,
I think this is more in like a normal kids film kind of way.
yeah,
Whereas like the first one is like
I guess it not being set out, like being based on The Great Escape helps.
yeah.
with it
The
being a
first one
kids'
is
film.
like an experimental like film. Like it feels like this feels like a normal kids film.
yeah.
It was like it's a nostalgia bait. It's a nostalgic film, but it's also for kids now.
I never
Yeah.
felt like they weren't going to make it at any point. Whereas
No.
in Chicken Run, the first film, there are definitely like I don't want to say moments where you think like they're going to
Oh,
die, but there are definitely
100%.
moments where like the stakes you're not actually sure what's going to happen. Like, are we going to
Yeah,
lose
the
it?
stakes are rising as well as
100%.
the chickens.
That's rather the pies.
100%. But this film is way safer. But I think it's just as good as like a kids film.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely a good kids film. I'm just not sure if it's a great Chicken Run film.
Yeah.
Yeah, still enjoyed it though. Like, part of me was expecting just to be disappointed.
I was
But-
really hoping I wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I was cautious, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad at all. I had a good enough time, but it's not quite the like. It's not Curse of the Were Rabbit
No.
step.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's more like the one they did after that, the straight to TV one that was
Yeah, the
the
bread
baking
one.
bread,
Yeah.
the bread one it was still good.
Well, when did,
And like they do the
It's just
Shaun the
that-
Sheep TV show and stuff like that, and
when was the last time Aardman made a film?
I don't
think
know.
it was a while ago.
Because I know they had The Fire.
They did the. Did they do the Pirates one?
pirates in a thingy with scientists.
Yeah.
That must have been them. It looks just like
they did
them.
Morph. Oh, why is that a surprise? Oh, they did Flushed Away.
Morph is like he's their man. He's their what's it called?
Chicken Run, Wallace and Gromit, Flushed Away, but that was
computer.
Yeah, I think this is the... Oh my god, there's an untitled Wallace and Gromit film coming this year.
Great.
Fuck yeah. We need to do all the Wallace and Gromits for this.
We do. We need
Curse of the Were-Rabbit was 2005.
We need to have a Wallace and Gromit.
That was nearly 20 years ago.
Shut up, no!
When was The Fire?
That was quite a long time ago, I think.
2005? Yeah. Christ. Okay, so the Guardian's headline for that is Curses Gromit. Fire destroys animation film's history on eve of box office triumph.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just before Wallace and Gromit Were-Rabbit came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it also was it destroyed everything.
Yeah, that's probably why after that they went to computer animation. I think this is the first proper stop motion thing they've done again in a while.
Claymation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I'm glad they're back in it. Yeah, it does make me want to watch Wallace and Gromit things and
it did. This film definitely didn't feel like, at least as a production company, Aardman wasn't. They weren't just money grabbing to make a sequel. They weren't just because the worry when this was announced, I remember everyone was like, "Oh, they're just making a sequel now." Because because
it was Netflix as well. And when you think about season 4 of Arrested Development, where they brought something back unnecessarily and it didn't really work, and
you're everything gets a sequel.
Yeah.
And no, it turns out they actually made something they wanted to. And it's not like Aardman are bad at making sequels. All of their sequels are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with this film. I like this film.
Yeah, I had a good time with this, and at some point I might watch it again, which is always a good sign.
Watch it again.
Yeah, this feels like one that could quite happily be on around Christmas, a few days after Chicken
Definitely
Run.
Not an Easter movie.
Are you sure, though?
You guys still going to go and eat some chickens, huh?
It's just gone 10 o'clock, so no.
Good.
It's a bit late for that.
Out of 10.
I'm going to give this 7 vegan messages.
Yeah.
It was fine. I don't know, maybe I just... Yeah, it's fine. I guess it's just one of those ones where it's really hard because it's got such a sequel to live up to.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I mean, I was going to go the opposite. I was going to go for 6 nugget shapes. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was a good enough watch. It had some bits that really made me laugh, and I say there was only that one joke that I was like, yeah, that didn't work.
What were they going for with that? I'm
it's
Frey
just a bit
phobic.
weird. I don't want to march forth into the fray. I'm Frey phobic. It just.
I hate it when things fray and she pulls out a piece of fabric that's
because
some wool scarf that's unraveled.
That would make way more sense.
Maybe it was.
Someone makes an "I'm afraid not" kind of joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she did make the bicycle though, so we can forgive her.
Oh yeah. She still has the best lines.
I think if you're breaking down a film and you only find one joke that didn't land right, that's a pretty good film.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So what do you reckon then, Mikey?
I think 8. I'm happy to give it an 8. 8 chicken puns. 8 knitted bicycles.
Definitely.
8 shocked chickens when she says, "I made a bicycle."
It's a good mixture of shock and confusion, amazingly displayed on the face of 10 plasticine chickens.
I just think Aardman and this era and all of their films shaped my sense of humor. So kind of dumb, kind of deadpan, stupid joke, it floors me every time.
Yeah, I've not seen some most of the Wallace and Gromit things in ages, but I can guarantee I still remember a lot of the jokes, and the one where they go to the moon and when the rocket lights up and all of the mice put the sunglasses on.
Yeah,
fucking amazing.
Incredible.
It's so funny. Or Gromit when he's holding the drill and he spins instead of the drill.
Yeah, I think that humor shaped me too much.
Yeah.
So it just lands, and it does. I like this film. It didn't make me feel like warm and happy like the original does.
Yeah.
But it's also, there's no nostalgia there. I think for a standalone film, it's pretty good.
I think the problem is that we're rating it against the first one.
Yeah.
And we're always going to have the nostalgia goggles for the first one.
But I think as a modern kids film, this is definitely one of the better that we've had to sit through.
They are knitted nostalgia goggles, so they don't actually have any lenses in.
No.
Yeah, they're a bit floppy.
I should make some glasses.
Can you knit us a bicycle?
Yeah.
Probably, we'll give you money from Patreon to do so.
Got the Patreon money for this week.
You could make the pattern and then sell that on Etsy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could.
Well, with that, I have been Dan.
I have been Michael.
And I've been Helen.
You can find us on social media at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well. If you want to come in, you can chat to us. Let us know what you thought about this. Like, did you enjoy it? The usual stuff.
Does it hold up? But it just came out. So
well, I mean, if you liked this as well, would you like us to do more sort of slightly more modern movies every so often, just as like bonus episodes? Whether they're like new sequels to things or just films that seem interesting to talk about. Yeah. And we also have a Patreon where you can support the show. It helps us keep going.
It keeps Michael in wool.
Yeah, keeps his wool coming.
Wool addiction.
Yeah. So what are we knitting bicycles for the? You'll have to teach us how to knit.
I would love to.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna be knitting and crochet. We're gonna be making bicycles. That's it. It's just a happy one.
Yeah.
It's no kidnapping, no torture,
no making a chicken farm.
No making a chicken
farm.
When
you send your child downhill for the first time on the knitted bicycle, they will hurt themselves.
No, you'll be perfectly safe.
Really funny.
They will be perfectly safe because number one, it's knitted, it's nice and soft, and number two, they're not going to go anywhere. It's knitted.
Yeah.
They garrot themselves falling down the hill.
They might. They might.
I mean, look, at worst, they'll be enjoying their knitted bicycle and a car will barrel roll through a wall and crush them.
Yeah.
Or they'll cycle onto a landmine.
You have been warned.
Or some other accursed thing from like early to mid-2000s.
Help, mother, I cycled into the corn silo.
If you hit me at 40, there's an 80% chance I'll live.
Right, I'm going. I'm ending this.